Hours later, as the sun began to set, he sprang to his feet and bolted into the house. Walker is a guy who shouldn't drink. He almost never could stop at one beer, and even after one, you might find him on the pub patio, standing on a chair and making a speech. Later, you'd hear a thrown bottle crash on the concrete as he emphasized a point. He was a guy who almost always listened intently, maybe too intently, to what was going on around him. But you put one beer in him, and he went deaf. A few weeks after he landed back home a hero, his brother Ed drove his truck into a tree. Ed was drunk when he killed himself. Walker, a guy who always made connections, began to wonder, did Ed die as punishment for what I did in Afghanistan? Home now and his brother dead, he started to drink more. True to form, Walker did little in moderation. Sitting in his backyard on the weekend, he'd go through not a case but a cooler full of beer. Then he told me about the night he got arrested. You know how when a good friend starts a story and 5 words in, you can tell where it's going? This wouldn't be good. He was downtown. He'd been drinking in a restaurant. He sees his wife pull up and he walks out to get some money from her. A police officer asks him to hold on a second. Walker says he's just going to get some money from his wife to pay his bill. He points at her in the car. The officer grabs Walker by the shoulder, and here it gets messy. They get the cuffs on Walker. Blood is trickling down his face, and he asks in drunken clarity, "Can we talk for a minute about what's going on here?" No. They put him in the patrol car. They charge him with a felony, resisting arrest. Walker's confused. He's been drinking, sure, but what has he done wrong? His docs at the VA diagnose him with post-traumatic stress disorder, but they don't prescribe exercise or community service. They do prescribe a raft of pills. What's going to happen in court? Walker was in the wrong. He's apologetic, but that's not worth a lot. And the truth is, if it wasn't this incident with the cops, it would have been something else. Maybe drinking and driving. Maybe he would have killed himself behind the wheel like his brother, or worse, maybe he would have killed someone else. All things considered, there's only one man at fault here, and it's Walker. Now, the war hero dad is an unemployed alcoholic on disability who looks as if he's on his way to jail. We talk. For a few years, I'd had a bunch of thoughts based on my humanitarian work overseas, my time in the military, and my work with veterans about how people move through hardship to happiness, through pain to wisdom, through suffering to strength. Our phone call brought them to the surface. It was late when I got home, but when I did, I put some of those thoughts in a letter to Walker. He wrote back. One letter followed another. We talked a lot. We kept writing. This book is an edited set of those letters. They are letters to my friend, but while his story is unique, what he's up against, loss, fear, a search for purpose, is not. In fact, what he's up against is universal. So, with my friend's blessing, but with his name changed to protect his privacy, I've collected these letters on resilience in the hope that they might also benefit you. Letter 1. Your front line. Walker, you told me you cleared your house last week. You got up around 0300, grabbed a pistol, and went from room to room, closet to closet, crevice to crevice, checking for what you weren't sure. Nobody was in the house, of course. You've been doing that a couple of times a month. You've been waking up in puddles of sweat. It would be tempting, very tempting, to imagine that you're just having bad dreams. It would be even more tempting to slap a medical diagnosis on what's going on and to let some doctor pump you full of pills. But you are my friend, and it's not some nightmare memory of war that's really the problem, and you know it. The problems at night may have a little to do with the past, but they have a lot more to do with what you are choosing to do in the present. You're home now, and for the first time in your life, you don't know what you're aiming at. You tried the concrete business. It went well for a while and then blew up. Before, you'd been a Navy SEAL. You were one of the world's elite command.